Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Me by Hannah. I hope you're having a great week. In today's video, I want to talk about all the big mistakes that women can make in a relationship, which basically means that the relationship doesn't last. So hopefully this will help you out if you're a woman watching this video. And then if you're watching, I would really like your input. So if there's anything I've missed off that could be of help to us, of womankind all over the world, then please pop me a comment in the box below because I would love to hear from you. Before I get into this video, as ever, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell. And if you do enjoy the video, if you could just give it a quick thumbs up. Mistakes in a relationship can literally cause the relationship to disintegrate and break down really fast. However, if you can recognize the mistakes, catch them early enough, then there is always time to rectify them and put the relationship back on track. So that's hopefully what we're going to do today. So the first thing is going to be probably quite controversial. However, I know most women in relationships do this, and I think it's a really big no-no. Basically, when we get into relationships, we get really comfortable. We think perhaps the guy is the one, he's going to be our everything for the next 100 years, etc. And we let ourselves go. So potentially we put on a bit of weight, we stop shaving our legs, everything just becomes a bit more blah, if you get me. Now, men, I understand, are wholly based on visual things, what's aesthetically pleasing to the eye. And if you let yourself go, your man will be moving on to the next one in the blink of an eye. So women, don't let yourself go. You need to be literally treating yourself as if you're still trying to date this guy, and to make him constantly happy with how you look and feel good yourself, because if you're not feeling good, you are not going to be thinking well, you're not going to be feeling good in yourself and acting well. And just for your own benefit, just make yourself look and feel really good inside and out. The next thing I think women sometimes do, which men absolutely hate, is that we can emasculate men sometimes. Now, this isn't consciously done, it's not something that we set out to do by any means. But women, we need to treat our man like they are the man. Literally, you're the man kind of thing. Now, if you are overpowering them or you're undermining their opinion, you're basically making them feel like less of a man. So don't do that. It's not attractive. It definitely lowers your man's self-confidence and self-esteem, and you don't want that. So treat a man like the man and don't emasculate them. The third top tip not to do: women, do not gossip about your partner to anybody. This is not just bad stuff, this is good stuff as well. So you need to keep everything to yourself. Sure, if you've got one or two very, very close friends who you go to for support and advice, that is fine. But don't take your random gossip to your friends. This is just a betrayal of trust, and if your man can't trust that he can tell you stuff in private, then it will break down the relationship so quickly, because men really, really rely on trust and loyalty. Following on from this little tip for you, number 4, do not take an argument out in public. Now, when I say this, I don't just mean take it outside in the street, I mean take it on social media as well. This is an absolute no-no. As I just said, men absolutely 100% value loyalty. And if you are putting out your dirty laundry in public, then it's an absolute betrayal of your partner's trust. Not only does the whole world then know your business, but when you make up in a day or two and everything's rosy again, people are still gonna think, oh, that couple's got issues, they're not gonna last. And whilst you don't care what people think, like, people close to you, friends, will start to have a different opinion and view of your relationship, and of him as well. So don't take your arguments out in public. It's just nasty. The fifth thing that we do generally that men don't like is that we ask for too much attention. Now, of course, you're in a relationship. You need to give your woman time, and absolutely 100% date nights, cuddling sessions, everything like this is absolute musts. However, the same way we value friend time, going out time, spa days, dinner dates, brunches, everything like this, men value the same kinds of things, but they do it in a different way. So if, for example, your man is a gamer and every time you go in the room he is playing a game on the console or something like this, just let him be instead of trying to get his attention. Now, if he's gaming too much, like hours and hours on end, then you might just want to sit down and have a conversation and say, look, I don't mind you gaming, but can you kind of limit it down a bit, and maybe we could do something else together instead of some of that time. But just let your man enjoy what he enjoys. It's not always going to be convenient for you, and when you want him, yes, he might be unavailable, but if he's happy, then your relationship is going to be happier as well. That saying, happy wife, happy life, I completely disagree with this, because I think it needs to be both sides. I think happy partners in general is happy life. The sixth problem that I think women have in relationships is that we like to see the potential in a man rather than see what they actually are now, when in fact we actually need to see them for who they are rather than who we think they should be. Does that make sense? This basically means that you shouldn't try and change your partner. Your partner is who they are, and regardless of any bad habits they are, you are going out with them despite them having those bad habits. You are not going to change a guy very easily. Sometimes trainable, but not always. But you just have to literally go with what they're like right now. Don't set unrealistic expectations of what you think they could do or be, because it might not happen, and you just need to change your focus slightly and focus on actually what you've got in front of you. The seventh point is, following on from this, women also set sometimes unrealistic expectations. Now, I've said this in a previous video, and whilst women shouldn't settle as such, sometimes we do have very unrealistic expectations that simply can't be met. So we need to, instead of finding a guy who ticks every box, we need to find a guy that ticks most of the biggest goals that we have. We have to remember that we have a body clock, and it is not stopping so that we can just pick up a guy and drop a guy whenever we feel like it because the hair's not dark enough, or because they snore, or because they go out and play football too often, Your body clock doesn't care about these things. So if you have a nice guy, a nurturing guy, a guy that is caring towards you and loves you and you have fun together, then if he's missing one tiny thing, don't just drop the guy. Try and make it work, and if he's not the right guy for you, then move on. Finally, the last problem that I think women have in relationships is that sometimes we can be financially irresponsible. So in the olden days, obviously women were kept by the man worked, the woman did the domestic chores, and the man paid for everything. Nowadays, we want everything half and half, so the woman should be able to support herself. So don't expect to be saved by a man if you've spent £100 on shoes this month and can't afford the rent, because he shouldn't have to pick up that tab if you've been irresponsible and been shopping. So I love shopping, don't get me wrong, but just make sure that your finances are in order, and that even if you're on your own, you can afford everything without having help from a guy. I know some of these points will be highly controversial, I'm fully aware of this. However, I did want to point out a few things, because I feel like if we can improve how we are in a relationship, the guy will improve, your relationships will improve, and everybody in the world will generally be happier. So that's the goal. The question of today, guys, if you're watching this video, have I missed anything out? Is there anything that you want to tell girls? how to improve in a relationship, or is there anything that I've missed out? So please drop me a comment below. Equally, ladies, what do you think destroys relationships? What errors do we generally make that we can improve on? I definitely want to hear your stories, so pop me a comment in the box below. Don't forget to subscribe, it's very important. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you in the next video.